In 2026, you can go from a validated idea to a working SaaS product with real users giving you feedback in 7 days. Not 7 months, not 7 weeks, 7 days. And I know because I've been doing it. Today, I'm going to walk you through my exact process, step by step, tool by tool, no fluff, no theory, just the playbook I use right now as of March 2026. Oh, and by the way, the total cost for using all these tools, well under $200 a month. So let's get into it. Before I break down each day, here's a 50,000-foot view of my process, which is 4 phases. Phase 0 is all about validation. This is your pre-work, problem interviews, competitive research, making sure you're solving something people actually care about. This is not part of the 1-week build. If you haven't validated yet, go do that first. In fact, I have a specific video on the topic and I'll link to it in the description below. Now, the reason why this is so important is because without validation, all you're doing is building something nobody wants faster, or as I like to call it in the wild, building a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. Phase 1 is all about designing and selling. That's days 1 and 2. You're building a landing page and the UI UX prototype with a tool like Lovable. By the end of day 2, you should have something that you can both sell and demo. Phase 2 is all about wiring everything up. Days 3 through 5. You move the code base into a development environment such as Cursor and/or Claude Code, and then make your UI UX functional by adding a backend and a database. Phase 3 is when we ship and learn. Days 6 and 7. You deploy to production and get it into the hands of real users as fast as possible so they can start providing feedback. That is the beginning of your all-important feedback loop. Each phase uses specific tools and has a specific goal, so don't jump ahead yet. Let me break each one down. Some people want to jump straight to code, and that's a mistake. Here's why I start with Lovable. The biggest benefit is speed. You can have a professional-looking landing page and a full UI UX prototype in minutes to hours, not days to weeks. Second, you can start selling before you've built anything. The landing page lets you capture leads and sell while you're still designing the product. Third, iterating visually is much faster. Debating layouts and user flows in a visual tool is 10 times faster than doing it in code. And an additional bonus is what I refer to as the demo account pattern, which I'll explain further in a minute. Day 1 is all about the landing page, and I want to be clear, this is your sales tool. It comes before the product. Your landing page should explain everything from the problem you solve to how you solve it, plus building as much trust as possible with the prospect to try and convert them to a paying customer. Now, using other AI tools like Claude can help you workshop an ideal prompt to leverage Lovable to design and build your landing page. Then iterate conversationally with Lovable from there. Once you feel like it's ready, connect your custom domain. By the end of day 1, you should be live with the ability to capture leads. And by the way, look, I know I talk up Lovable a lot, but it's not the only tool like it out there. There's also tools like V0 and Magic Patterns that are also very good. Sometimes I test all 3 and I pick a winner. I'll link to those in the description below. Day 2 shifts from selling to designing the actual product experience. You're building the core or primary user workflow, the one thing that your product does. The dashboard that shows the value, navigation, settings, page structure, really the foundation of your product. And don't worry yet about perfect data or backend logic. Just use sample data. Focus on the flow feeling right, not necessarily technical perfection. Here's a strategy I like to leverage for the right project. Instead of hiding the dashboard behind a login wall, I convert it to a public demo account that anyone can explore. No sign-up required. This is a product-led qualification tactic. Prospects can see exactly what they're getting before they sign up, and the people who reach out after seeing the demo are likely already warm. They've probably even sold themselves. So, at the end of day 2, you have a landing page that's live, ready to collect real leads, and a fully interactive demo of your product. Now you can sell and you can demo. That is incredibly powerful for a 2-day investment. Day 3 is the transition from design to engineering. Here's what that handoff looks like. Step 1 is to connect your design tool, Lovable in my case, to GitHub. Lovable has a native GitHub integration with two-way sync. Now push your project to a repo. And then step 2 is going to be to clone that locally or pull that repo down to your local machine. Step 3, you're going to open it up in your development environment, which might be anything from Cursor to Claude Code. Really, it's your AI-powered weapon of choice. Lovable typically generates a Vite React single-page app. That's totally fine for prototyping, but for production purposes, you'll likely want to migrate to something like Next.js for server-side rendering, SEO, and API routes. I've done that migration for all of my apps and sites like Clockless, which I'm building in public, and a good rule of thumb is that you'll likely want to convert or refactor if SEO or AEO matters to your project. Day 3 is all foundation work. Set up your environment variables, and I cannot stress this enough. Never ever commit your .env file to GitHub. Bots scan GitHub constantly for exposed API keys. I've seen founders get hit with thousands of dollars in fraudulent charges within hours. Use a .env example file and add your .env file to your gitignore. After that, configure your Supabase clients. Set up auth flow, login, logout, callback routes. Create your database schema with tables and row-level security policies. Security first, always. I'm looking your way, vibe coders. You need to get serious with this stuff. Don't skip it. You'll regret it later. You're wiring up the primary workflow to real data. Build the API routes that power the core features. Replacing the mock data from Lovable with real Supabase queries. Getting the core loop working end to end. User does a thing. Data gets processed. Result shows up. Day 5 is all about polish and edge cases. Error handling, loading states, form validation, responsive fixes if the Lovable output needs tweaking. And most importantly, you test the full user flow from start to finish to make sure everything is properly functional. Now this is where most people fail. They open Claude Code and they type, "Build me a billing system." That's vibe coding, and vibe coding produces slop. Here's what I do instead. First, create a CLAUDE.md file. This is your project's rules, conventions, and architecture decisions. Claude reads it on every single interaction. Your AI knows your code base because you told it what to care about. Second, you need clear acceptance criteria. It's not build a client page. Instead, it's build an API route at /API/clients that accepts post requests with name, email, billing rate fields, validates them, stores them in Supabase, and returns the created client with a 201 status. That's the difference. Third, it's small, focused tasks, one route at a time, one component at a time, and verify it works before moving on. Don't ask Claude to build the whole backend in one prompt. And fourth, test-driven prompts. Write tests first, then implement. Tests catch regressions. Tests are your specification. Tests give you the confidence to ship better code faster. And these days, the model matters less than the context you give it. That is the core principle of everything I teach. Context engineering, not vibe coding. Day 6 is deployment day, which means it's time to get everything live. With Vercel, it's almost anticlimactic. Push to GitHub and Vercel auto deploys. Set your environment variables in the Vercel settings. Configure your custom domain, enable analytics, and for the most part, you're done. On the Supabase side, update your auth redirect URLs and the production domain. Make sure you have row-level security enabled on every table. And triple check that no secrets are exposed in your client-side code. Run through the checklist. Pages render, auth works, core features are functional from end to end. Forms submit, mobile looks acceptable, not perfect, but acceptable, and you don't have any console errors. Now, it does not need to be perfect. It needs to work. Perfect is the enemy of shipped. Day 7 is the most important day of the entire week, and it's the one most founders never even get to. This is the day you stop building and you start learning. Okay, so who gets access first? It's the people from your validation interviews who said they'd try it, your email list signups from that day 1 landing page, warm contacts from your target niche. Don't focus on the general public as of this point, at least not yet. And what do you want to ask them? Did the core workflow make sense? Was there a moment when you got confused or stuck? What's the one thing you'd add or change? And the ultimate question, how valuable is this for you? Have direct conversations, Zoom calls, phone calls. Watch them use it over screen share if you can. The signal from one real conversation is worth more than 100 survey responses. The feedback from day 7 determines what you build in week 2. Without it, you're guessing. With it, you're iterating on real data from real users, well on your way to a successful SaaS product business. Now, we've done a lot so far, but let me break down what all of this is likely going to actually cost you so that you have a better idea. Lovable is a free tier or maybe about $20 a month. Cursor, which is optional, also costs about $20 a month. Claude, depending on your usage, maybe 20 to 100 or more per month. Supabase, free tier. Vercel, also free tier. A domain name, maybe about $12 per year. Again, don't pay for a domain name. Find a good name, .com ideally, but don't pay for a domain name. Kit for email capture, also free tier. So the total, maybe somewhere between $60 and $160 for the month. Not $60,000, not $6,000, not even $600. Well under $200. Now, let's compare that to the old way. Hire a developer, likely thousands of dollars or more. Hire a designer, hundreds of thousands more. Wait 3 to 6 months, burn at least thousands a month. Hope it works. And you will probably have to give up 20 to 40% equity to investors just to fund it before you even know it can be a real business. Or you plus AI tools plus 1 week plus $100-ish, keep 100% equity, get user feedback on day 7 instead of month 6. This is what the SaaS apocalypse is really all about. Not AI killing software. It's AI making it possible for one person to do what used to require an entire department and thousands upon thousands of dollars minimum. This process has never been easier, but there's still plenty of ways to get stuck and open yourself up to all kinds of problems now and down the road. I built many SaaS products, and here's what I tell myself if I were starting fresh today. Mistake 1 is skipping validation. Building faster does not help if you're building the wrong product. The week starts after you've talked to real potential future buyers. Mistake 2, over-engineering everything. You don't need microservices, you don't need a custom auth system, you don't need CI/CD pipelines. Supabase and Vercel handle all of that out of the box. Ship first, optimize later once you already have traction. Mistake 3, waiting for perfect. Your V1 will embarrass you in 6 months. Good, that means you've shipped and you've improved. The founders who wait for perfect never ship at all. Mistake 4, forgetting .env security. Seriously, bots scan GitHub for exposed API keys around the clock. I've seen this cost founders thousands of dollars in fraudulent charges. Use .env example. Never commit secrets. Mistake 5, building alone in a cave. Day 7 exists for a reason. Get it into users' hands, not just your imagination. Feedback beats guessing every single time. Don't take anything personally. Use it to make your product better. And mistake 6, vibe coding everything. CLAUDE.md, clear specs, small tasks, tests. Remember, model doesn't matter nearly as much as the context and instructions you give it. That's the playbook, folks. Validate first, design and sell with Lovable, wire it up with Cursor and Claude Code, ship and get feedback. 7 days for well under $200. If you want to see this exact process in action, I'm doing it right now with Clockless, a legal billing SaaS that I'm building completely in public. The entire Build in Public series documents every step along the way. Check out the link in the description. Also, if you want personal help with your project, check out bootstrappersparadise.com, where I offer various ways to connect with me so I can help you get your SaaS launched. Because your idea is only 7 days away from being real. Stop planning and start shipping. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.